Let us now proceed and continue our discussion on the topic of array. So here I will simply clean up all my code. Let us remove this statement. And now here we have one way to declare our array. Now what if I declare suppose a float array? Let's call it my second array. And currently we don't know what values that we need to define, right? We actually don't know what should be the content of this array. So in that case, you can simply leave it blank. And later on, suppose you want to insert some value into this float array, then you can simply use my second array equal to give the value as 34.2f, 4.6f, 78 point, let's say 11f. Right? Now here it shows some error. You cannot initialize the array like this in two steps. Now there is an alternative solution to this. Instead of this statement, what you can do, you can simply use equal to operator and use the new keyword, then again type float array. But here it will simply expect that you have to give the size of this array. So here I will use 3. So our second array can only contain 3 elements, and that too of the float data type. So here let us insert the elements. Let's say my second array index of 0, because the index starts from 0, equal to 34.2f, and then my second array index of 1 equal to 4.6f, and then let us insert our third element at index 2, 78.11f. So here you can see I showed you the second way to declare any array in Java. Now suppose you want to print out all the values of this my second array. So again let us copy the code from here and paste it here. And now instead of my first array, let us use my second array and also replace it by my second array. So in this case as well our code will work fine. But hey, wait, here the IntelliJ IDE, it is showing some error or some warning. The for loop can be replaced by for each loop. Now what does this for each loop stands for? For each loop is basically the advanced form of for loop. And the syntax to declare the for each loop is that simply use the for keyword and then give the data type as float. Because our data content is float, let's say float num followed by colon and then give the name of the array. And within the block, let us print out, let's say num. Now these two blocks of code are exactly same. Here I am showing you this is actually the for each loop, which is a new kind of loop that you should learn in this tutorial itself. Both are doing the same job. The only difference is that in case of for each loop, we don't have to use any counter variable or do a lot of job that we are doing here in case of for loop. So here let me comment these 3 lines of code and let us now run the code. So here at the bottom we are getting our desired output 34.2, 4.6, 78.11. So this is the content of my second array. So what the for each loop will do, with each iteration, it will store the one element of this array into the float number variable and print it out, right? So let us remove all these code from here. And now suppose if I increase the complexity of your application or your program, if I ask you to write a program to find out the sum of all the elements stored in the array. So in that case, just before your for loop, you have to define int sum equal to 0, and here within this you have to use sum then plus equal to operator, let's say my first array index of I, and then after the for loop let us print out the sum of first array, then print out sum, right? Let us now run the code. So here we get the sum of first array is 94. In similar fashion, we can find the sum of all the numbers, that is the floating numbers within the second array. So in that case again we need to use this time float sum of numbers equal to 0. And now within the loop let us use sum of numbers plus equal to, let's say, num. And now right after this for loop, let us use our print statement. second array, and then sum of numbers. Let us now run the code. So there we go, sum of second array is 116.91, this much. So this was all about the 1D array in Java.